Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, I was debating with myself on whether or not to make a video about the Walking Dead comics after the latest issue 186, that came out this month. I wasn't sure. My first idea was to just not make a video at all explaining my reaction and my decision to cut all ties with the comics. And I decided, I should probably make a video explaining myself, to the people that might be watching those videos. And with what happened with Dwight getting killed off, I don't want to say any more than I have to say. I don't want to trash talk Robert Kirkman. I don't want to say any more than I have to. But basically I'm done with the Walking Dead comics. The TV show I'll stick with at least for a little while, for maybe a few more years, see where it goes. But the Walking Dead comics, I'm just done with. I threw away the books I had, the compendiums, and the figures, all the Walking Dead comic figures. I'm selling them. Dwight was a character that I really connected with and really just rooted for. Maybe I took it for granted, and I'm not really trying to attack Robert Kirkman or anyone. But yeah, I was really connected with Dwight and his story, and his story did go on a decent time. He lasted 89 issues. I started liking Dwight back in 2013. Early in All Out War, I started to like that guy, and I thought, that's an interesting guy. I want to know his story. I want to see him in the apocalypse. Dwight was the character that got me into the Walking Dead comics. I was in the TV show a little bit, and with the comics, I was at Books A Million, and I just picked up and scrolled through the pages, and I took notice of Dwight, and I read some of his lines and some of his parts, and this was right before All Out War started, and then he reveals himself to wanting to be on Rick's side, and I really liked that character, and he was the one that got me into the comics. He died this month in the story, which is literally the end of the last month of 2018. So it's been a while, every month I would, find the issue and read it and hope that Dwight didn't die. And, I appreciated how long he lived. I took every month as a win. Once we got to this point, I was really starting to think that he would be safe for a little while, and that he should be safe for a little while. And I still feel that way with what happened and how forced it was in the story. But yeah, I'm not going to make any more videos about the Walking Dead comics. I'm not buying any more figures. What's done is done. I'm sure he has plans for how the story continues, and he's going to do what he's going to do, and that's fine. But I'm just done. I don't really. I hate to be one of those guys that stops because a character died. That's kind of fucked up, but it happens. The reality is it happens. I know a lot of people that stopped watching Sons of Anarchy when Opie Winston dies, and if they get away with it, if they don't get shit for making that decision, then you should be able to do it with any character. If a character you like dies, yeah, sure. If you feel like you need to just quit the story, the heart wants what it wants, and people really attack you when you make that decision, which is why I didn't really want to make a video, but I feel like I needed to explain everything. But yeah, I'm done with the Walking Dead comics. I'm done with with that stuff. It's still good memories. I went back and I read every single issue back in like 2014, 2015. And then from there on, I looked forward to it once a month. And I always collected the figures, and I was just so happy with how Dwight lived so long. He outlived Alpha, he outlived Ezekiel, Andrea, Rosita, Beta, just like a shitload of characters. A lot of people were like, he was a little bitch, and he should die during All Out War, and then he survived All Out War, and Dwight's a pretty popular character now. He became pretty popular in the comics with comic fans. I remember when it wasn't cool to like him, and I liked him back in like 2014. I liked Dwight before it was cool. And that I'm quitting the story because he died. I mean, yeah, maybe it is a little selfish. Maybe I did just stick with the story for that character. I feel like, there are parts of the comics I have problems with. I think the writing got better, but yeah, Dwight was definitely a big part of my interest in the comics. I just wanted to. He was just such a unique character, and usually a character like him dies early, and he didn't die early, and I wanted to see where he would go. And I really just connected with that. Once a month there'd be a new issue, and his story would evolve. And yeah, I think first of all, I definitely think he died too soon. And this is the part where I'm laying out some criticisms for people to just understand my opinion a little better, and because if you don't criticize something, it's never gonna improve in the future. So I'm gonna give some criticisms. For one thing, I think he died too soon. Where he was in the story, he seems a little important to kill off, like killing off Eugene, and Eugene's important, and killing off Michonne. You don't do that because she's important. Killing off Carl. Dwight seemed like he was still in that area, like he was still one of those characters that you couldn't afford to kill off. Andrea died just 19 issues ago. She was a huge death, and I think we needed to just keep who we had as far as the major characters. And Dwight was the leader of the militia. He was a soldier. He had good training. I always liked the parts where he was like leading people into battle and giving orders. Like he was just like a commander on the battlefield, and that's something you always need. To say that his story had to be over is just doesn't. I don't agree with that. I think that he had plenty of use, and if he still had some problems with Sherry or with Laura, or with being angry about getting tortured by Negan and wanting to take over, I'm not totally against the idea of him wanting to take over the Commonwealth, but that's something that should have been explored, and maybe he realizes at some point that he's taking things too far, and he takes a step back, and he becomes a better person, and he grows. And the Walking Dead comics the last couple of years in real life, they seem to be a little bit more focused on after everything goes to shit, people rebuilding civilization. I like that idea. I think that you should do something with characters besides just kill them. That's how life is. Sometimes you don't die. Sometimes you do live to be in your 90s and shit like that. I think that would have been cool with Dwight, to see Dwight, if he learns the errors of his ways with wanting to take over and stuff like that, and maybe he and Laura, I think that's her name, like they get married and have a kid, and then at some point there's like another big battle, and Dwight and Rick have grown together, and they're like really brothers at this point, which obviously they didn't get to that point yet. But they're like brothers at that point, and like Rick and Daryl in the TV show or something, and Dwight dies in some heroic way, fighting 20 people, going out like a warrior, and it's like issue 250 or 300, something like that. It's not that I didn't want Dwight to die, it's that I think there was a time and place for it, and it was a while away. And to say that his story was over just doesn't. I don't agree with that. They did a lot with the character. I mean, I think he had a lot left to offer with the position that he was in, and it just seemed like they forced it. Like they really, really forced it. You know, in the past 89 issues, even when Dwight's a good guy, you know, he's fighting the Whispers, he's always calm, collected. He has his shit together. He's not crazy. He doesn't have any crazy opinions. He seems like a normal, functioning human being with, you know, a basic brain and everything. And for the longest time, then all of it, he threatens Rick and wants to take over. But I mean, he was upset about Sherry's death. And I understood that because she always was his weakness. And then when he and Rick make up and apologize to each other, and Dwight and Laura get back together, I was really happy. So far, Dwight seemed like himself. You know, he had flaws, but he was a cool, level-headed guy, and he was good on the battlefield. And he goes to the Commonwealth, and all of a sudden, he turns into this rambling maniac psychopath that is just trigger happy and impatient, and he wants things, and he doesn't just want things, he wants things now, right this second, or I'm going to take control of everything and shoot people, and like, what the fuck? When was he like that? He just goes to this new community, and there's some things that they're doing wrong, and he has problems with it. Like, that would have been fine. But he turns into a maniac. This guy that we've spent over 80 issues with turns into a maniac for no reason, and it's really just out of character. And then Rick and Dwight seem okay, and they're arguing about what to do with Michonne, and Michonne sells them out. Michonne sells out Rick and Dwight to the governor, and the governor wants Dwight arrested, killed, exiled, I don't know. And then Dwight pulls a gun on the governor, and then rants more like a crazy person. But I kind of don't blame him, because Michonne just betrayed him. I mean, what did Dwight ever do to Michonne? You know, like, they worked together, they helped each other survive. And she just sold him out so that he could get locked up and exiled or something, or maybe even killed by the governor. And then, I mean, Michonne did that. That if you think about Michonne and all the issues in the story, like All Out War, or, you know, No Way Out, or when they're fighting the cannibals, the hunters, whatever. You know, Michonne seems like someone with common sense. I mean, it just seems like they turned her into a different person just so they could kill off Dwight. Why would Michonne sell them out? Why would she take that risk? Why would she trust the governor that much? Why just, oh my God. And look what happened. Dwight died. Rick and Dwight are both pissed at Michonne, and I don't blame them. I'm pissed at Michonne. Just such a stupid decision for that character to make. It doesn't seem like her character. And then Rick shoots Dwight through the head. And Ronnie Hayes mentioned this in his video. Rick Grimes didn't try to calm everyone down. He didn't try to tell the governor you're not arresting Dwight. You know, Rick didn't try very hard to keep Dwight alive. He just shot him, basically. And that seemed out of character. I mean, after all the moments they had together in the comics, Rick just shoots him through the head. And then Dwight had so many fans, and then all of a sudden people were like, oh, well, he did kill Abraham, so I guess it's poetic. And it's just like, that was a long time ago. That was 89 issues ago. He only killed Abraham because he was enslaved by a guy with a barbed wire bat with thousands of men at his disposal that took his wife and burned his face with an iron. So yeah, he was in a pretty shitty situation. I mean, he was just being a human. I mean, that's. I'm surprised everyone just brought that up out of nowhere. But yeah, It was really forced. It just seemed like all of a sudden Dwight was this maniac, and all of a sudden Rick wants to shoot Dwight, and all of a sudden Michonne wants to sell out her friends, and it was just terrible. I mean, Dwight really seemed like a big part of like the core of the story to me. I mean, he had a lot of moments in the comics, and I just don't really want to keep. I don't care about the next issue. I mean, the thought of the Walking Dead comics with Dwight dead just sort of horrifies me. It just seems too empty and too hopeless of a thing to read for me. I don't know. Yeah, and basically just my heart's kind of broken, and you know, it's okay. That's how shit is, you know. Characters you like die, but yeah, I just kind of want to just I mean, I need some money anyway, so I'm just gonna sell the figures, and yeah, I'm done with the comics, because I just you know, when I see Rick, I'm gonna see the guy that shot Dwight. When I see Michonne, I'm gonna see the chick that sold out Dwight. When I read the next issue, I'm gonna be reading an issue with Dwight dead. I don't want to do that stuff. I just don't care. I'm abandoning it, and really a lot of the videos I make about the comics, they don't get that many views. You know, the reviews I make of the issues don't get that many views, so it's not a hugely popular thing anyway. And yeah, and another thing is, I mean, I really was traumatized when I read his death. Just that image of the bullet going through his head, and his eyes looking blankly out, just sort of, I can't get that out of my head. I only looked at it for a couple of seconds, and you know, my heart just sank. But yeah, I'm just done with the comics, and it's okay. I mean, things happen. I still have the TV show, and yeah, it is what it is, you know, no big deal. But yeah, this is the last video I'm making about the Walking Dead comics. So yeah, just so you guys know that. But I'm still making videos about the TV show, and maybe even the video games and whatnot. So there's still going to be plenty of Walking Dead content. In fact, most of the content will stay the way it is, because most of the content is about the TV show. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got for this video. And don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day. So please hit that subscribe button. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.